said is like you want to be like what are the things that I'm lacking that are going to win the majority of my games, or they're going to
Right.
by the majority 55%, right? So you could look at this. Every game is winnable if you're like a grandmaster player in a plat lobby, right?
Right.
But for you, it's like, okay, I'm not a grandmaster in a plat lobby, right? What's reasonable for me to be winning a greater portion of my games? And then when you have that mindset, it stops being about like what's going to win this game and what habits can I improve on to win more games, right?
Right. And that's the thing is like, it's like, what am I doing right that's getting punished in this game, but is actually the right call, or what
Sure.
am I doing that's the right call, but my mechanics weren't
Yeah, exactly.
perfect,
Exactly. I think like a lot of people like we can look at both of these codes, and there's a real chance that in the Nepal game, or I think it was Nepal, right, where you got stomped,
Mm-hmm.
you could have been playing better that game. There's a
Mm-hmm.
chance. So it just might have been that it just happened. So you can't like look at the result, especially in a game like this. So okay, let's
Right, and that's why I was like, it's kind of a cop out, but I know like I forgot what his name is, but he's like a top 500 soldier player.
hmm,
He posts some YouTube videos. I saw him talking about it,
Metro,
and
right?
I'm like, yeah, Metro.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, well, I mean, if he's experiencing it, you know, I know you can't win every game, like I
Sure.
realize that, but if a top 500 player is saying, hey, this is kind of weird,
Yeah, I
you
mean
know,
it's definitely kind of weird. I will. I don't like throwing anybody under the bus, but Metro. How long or how much do you know about Metro?
very little.
Okay, he is one of the crybabies of the Overwatch community. I'll just warn you right now, and has been known so since literally like 2018.
Okay.
So the thing with Metro is he complains and cries about literally everything. He might not be wrong, but you're just gonna have to take everything he says with a grain of salt. Matchmaking might be messy, but it's like it's almost like a distraction from what you really need to be working about. I could tell you that somebody has been coached. I coached literally hundreds of players, 500, 600 players in
Mm-hmm.
Overwatch 2. I have yet to see somebody who feels more than like a full rank out of their rank. I've seen some plat players that look like diamond, some diamond players
Mm-hmm.
look like plat, but that's it. I've never seen
Mm-hmm.
anything beyond that.
Yeah, and like I'm not like, oh yeah, I'm this gold player that should be GM. No.
Right, right,
I expect to have to put in the work to improve. It's not nothing like that. But I
sure,
mean, it's just like things that I do notice. Like, I mean, when I have a Anna that's the first time, their first comp game, their
yeah,
first Overwatch account,
yeah,
they have 6K healing after
yeah,
two rounds, two full pushes, and
yeah,
we're into overtime.
yeah, 100%. I think the hard
So,
part is that like even though there's just as much of a chance for the enemy team to have somebody like that, so it all evens out. It doesn't
mhm.
necessarily make the games more fun to play.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
matchmaking is balanced, but it might not be fun. That's I
Yeah,
think the argument there.
yeah.
Okay, makes sense. So you're Tracer. How long you been playing the game?
I did play a little bit in Overwatch 1, but more recently I have started like trying to like grind Overwatch. We launch and get into my career profile, but pretty much like last season, maybe I don't even know, halfway, maybe three-quarters of the way through last season
Mm-hmm.
is when I actually started playing ranked, like, because my friends like we stay up a little bit later, and
Right.
the people that stay up later, like we were just like basically messing around in comp mystery heroes.
Yeah.
Mystery heroes is fine, besides some of the RNG, but the dual push is what we liked.
Yeah.
Not getting screwed over on Circuit Royale by attacking and having no healers, but the dual push is nice, and so like we started playing that, and then I branched off by myself and started just doing roll queue. So
Right. Right. Okay.
and I watched some A10 and
Smart guy.
attempted some Diva, but that needs work. But then I watched some Tracer, and I feel like I clicked more with Tracer. So
Sure. Sure. Okay. Makes sense. I mean, the big thing is that whatever you want to apply yourself competitively to is the hero that
mhm.
you enjoy playing. It's really that
Yep.
simple. It's not that deep. Okay, well,
And even better, they released a nice skin for Tracer on the
nah,
Battle Pass, and I was
that's
able to
that's the
pick it
real
up for
one.
free too.
That's the
So
real one. That's why, what was it, last season or the season before, was like not as busy because it was a freaking Sigma skin, you know. And I like Sigmas, but he ain't Genji or Kiriko or Tracer or anything, you know. Or
yeah.
can you believe it when they get a Mercy legendary? Oh my days, we're gonna be what is
Oh
it, Mythic?
my,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
Oh
gonna be cooked.
Lord.
It's gonna be bad, you know. I mean, Genji was crazy. I cannot tell you. I mean, Genji was in a pretty good spot balance wise too, but I cannot tell
Hmm.
you how much Genji I coached that first season. Like, it was
Oh yeah.
unbelievable. Everybody wanted to play Genji. So okay, makes sense. Well, what do you hope to get out of the session? A plan on an improvement, maximizing value, how to alter the tempo of the game, and my favorite, if it falls out. Sure. Um, I'm gonna say something really boring, okay, but it's true.
Okay.
Your job is just to play good. Your job is not to necessarily alter the tempo. Your job is not to alter your playstyle to counter their strengths. Your job is not to, make these big brain counter brain swaps. Are you familiar with American football much?
Yeah, I mean I don't watch it,
Okay,
but
okay. You're
yeah.
familiar with it. Have you ever heard of Vince Lombardi, the coach?
Mm-mm.
Okay, he's the basically they named the Super Bowl trophy after him. All right.
Okay.
Basically, the idea is that, like, a lot of certain teams and systems over the years have been all about like adjusting and counter stratting and trying this formation and this type of high power air offense and then option offense and running this and doing that and doing this and all that kind of stuff. And then there's sometimes, and this is still happens even to this day, where they just have a system and they don't care really what you do. They're just going to keep doing it and they're just going to beat you because they're better. And
Okay.
Vince Lombardi was very famous for basically only having like a dozen plays. um,
Hmm.
and they were just
Being good
so
at them.
good at it that
Hmm.
you just couldn't stop it. And really, that's what Overwatch is. Like, for Tracer, there are adjustments to your playstyle that you can make depending on the enemy composition, but that's pretty much it. You will adjust how you play versus the enemy composition, and that's your playstyle adjustment. That's
Right.
it.
And I guess what I mean about tempo is like I said, like I had some like Overwatch University people talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they were like GM, but they weren't like necessarily like Tracer players. And like I had a couple different things like don't hold high ground here or whatever. But I guess my point is like they said like Tracer is a tempo hero. You know, once you snowball, it's really easy to keep snowballing with Tracer, right?
Sure.
Um, so I guess that's the thing is like I feel like sometimes when I lose that, I just get stuck and we just get held at a point. Like if I'm not, and like I guess I say this with a grain of salt, but like it feels like sometimes like I'll be pushing through their team, right?
Yeah.
But then like I get picked and then our team just gets stuck right before the next point
Mm, mm.
and we can't get past it.
So
And I
you're
can't
saying, like, almost like a snowball, like you kind of keep the stagger going just through a continual game of deathmatch.
um sometimes, and it's not even that I necessarily need to keep the continual stagger because like I mean like A10 said like that's kind of how I see a lot of like unranked to GM tracer goes. You know, they get a pick and they hold people back while their team just like kind of pushes, you know?
Right.
Um, but it's just like sometimes I feel like when I lose that and I take a good position, and if we fail that push, like let's say, well, what is that map? Hollywood.
Yeah.
Um, so for instance, we pushed all the way to Hollywood. Through the first point, we were right in front of that little jail, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I took the high ground. I got a pick, but the team failed to push. They died, right? So we reset. But then I feel like I don't really know what to do. If I go take that high ground again, they're focused on me. I could
Sure.
go back into the back. I don't know what you call that staging area, whatever it's
Sure.
called,
Sure.
back there to like try and pull some pressure. But I feel very like helpless because like if they catch my flank routes and there's only like kind of like one flank route, like especially like with Circuit Royale, there's only like can only really do like one thing. Going up the stairs is basically a death trap, especially against Junkrat, and it just feels like I don't really know what to do in those
Sure.
situations. Like if
Sure.
they shut down my pick, if they like alter their strategy based off of
Sure.
that.
Sure. And this is where maybe the play style adjustment does come a little bit into play. Because this is, let me draw Hollywood for you. This is going to be beautiful. Big building, huh, other big building,
Mm-hmm.
and then the bridge across, right? And then there's like the jail over here, and then the payload pushes like,
Yep.
and they got the choke down here, right? So the idea is this: is that you're saying that we like when we control this space here, everything's fine and dandy, but then as soon as we lose and we reset, I'm stuck over here, and it just feels like everywhere I go, they know where I'm at, and I can't do anything.
It's not necessarily that, like, I might not even die. I might still be on the high ground, but my
Okay.
team dies, and so the
Right.
push, fails.
Right. The idea is once that what makes tracers so strong is that even if you did die and you have to come back from spawn, because you're so fast, you can set up your flanks,
Hmm.
right? It's very hard for them to stop you going on a flank, right? They might
Right.
stop you from killing people because they know you're there, but it's hard for them to stop you setting up. So then
Right.
when you go onto, like, let's say you take this flank route here, okay? So you go here, you're gonna wrap around here, and you're gonna maybe
Hmm.
either touch card or maybe you try to like take elevator.
Hmm.
You're distracting people.
Yep.
And what does that mean for your team that's over here?
Supposedly it takes pressure off of them.
Supposedly takes pressure off of them. Now you said supposedly because there's some cynicism in there, right?
Yeah, of course.
But you remember that this game is
It's a team game.
it's a team game, and it's also it's a little bit of luck, right? You could distract people and do everything right, but that your team is unable to capitalize off of that because they make mistakes.
Mhm.
But you still need to load the die for that
Right.
probability, right? And
Mhm.
overwhelming over the course of the majority of games, you will give your team an advantage. Even in pro games, it's everything is a percentage chance. I mean, that's just the nature of human element, right? It's like
Yeah.
there's no guarantees anywhere. You could be playing in the Overwatch League, go on a great flank, and freaking Kai or Proper or whoever looks at you and just doesn't ignores you and just hits the headshot on one of your squishies in main, and you just have to start
Mhm.
all over again just because somebody hits a crazy shot. It happens all the time, and
Yeah.
that's part of what makes it frustrating. But you need to remember that, like, I'm going to do the right thing here. And so for you, it's like, okay, if you get stuck, my first question is, are you loading the dice properly?
Right.
And then if you do you have the mental fortitude to keep loading the dice over and over and over and over again without getting angry, frustrated, and forcing a bad play?
Um Generally yes, I would say. I do know I need to start taking breaks cuz like generally I'll play for 4 or so hours. But I do know I need to start taking at least 10-minute breaks in between like every 3 or 4 games,
It'd
depending on
be
how long.
wise. Yeah, it'd be wise.
Um cuz I have noticed, and this is another takeaway that I've gotten, um, it's I don't want to say this, but kind of want to. It Playing the game can actually be boring. um, and I can play boring, and it feels like when I play boring, I win. You know, like there's the flashy plays. Oh yeah, the tracer 3K pulse bomb with whatever, all this stuff being flashy, jumping around, killing everybody. There is that,
Mm-hmm.
right? And sometimes it requires that. But a lot of the times I've seen it's really like when I play very calmly and very, I guess, have a lot of strategy in my position. I play cover, and I even told my um, the other coach from Overwatch University, I mean, playing against gold players, it's kind of boring because you play cover and they don't know what to do. You just kill them
Mm-hmm.
because they're out in the middle, like 10 feet from a corner, and you're just behind cover.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but So I guess when I say like I've started playing a little bit more boring, stop trying to like quote unquote hard carry my team, doing crazy plays, stuff like that. Just playing from the outside, being guerrilla tactics, poking,
Mm-hmm.
moving, poking, moving. If I see a kill, I kill,
Right.
moving. And I've also started um, trying to get better about my recalls, trying to time my recalls so I can get back on high ground when I recall, trying to use my recall for positioning if I need to, if I'm stuck out and I don't get what I need, just recalling and not trying to be greedy about it.
Right.
But obviously there's always recall greed.
Of course, always. Of course, always. Here's a question for you. When you say boring, do you say like from you don't enjoy playing it as much?
No, I say boring, like not flashy.
Sure, but do you want the flashy? I guess is my question.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Like I said, like I'm here to improve, not necessarily like
Sure.
clip. Like I play Rocket League 2. I don't know if you know a
Yeah,
lot about it, but
a little
I
bit.
don't need to clip on people every time,
Right.
right?
Right. Right.
So
I guess as long as you enjoy doing it, it's fine because
I do,
there's always a spectrum of plays that you could be going for as Tracer,
right?
and as long as you're choosing the high risk, high reward plays, then I'm okay with it. What
Yep.
I don't wouldn't
No.
want you to be doing is high risk, low reward, right, or high risk,
Yeah.
medium reward, right? So
Yes, and that's I need to be better about identifying that in the moment
yeah,
in the game. Like,
yeah,
rewatching it and be like, "Oh, if I went this way," but that doesn't help me
right,
now,
exactly,
you know,
exactly.
because the games are so dynamic. It's like, well, in that situation, sure, but in another situation, I might have been right.
Right,
So,
right, right. And the dynamic is what makes this game very hard. It's probably the most
right.
visually or one of the most difficult video games out there. Period. I'm a little biased here, but I believe it's true. Um, okay. Hours of sleep 4 to 7. Wow, that is something
Yeah,
else.
I'm kind of
Um,
savage, but
now
one of my buddies.
I will say that that might be part of the reason why you have like you were talking about like, oh, I need to be taking more breaks, whether that's for focus or whether it's for getting tilted or frustrated. That's also going to be affected by that sleep schedule too.
Yeah, I know, and trust me, I am a healthcare person, so
Sure,
I do know. It's just one of my friends. He does work the late shift, um, in a hospital, so I try to at least play with him every now and then too. So
sure, sure.
it's kind of
Okay,
like a social balance, and I'm not like you know I know if I got 8 hours plus of a sleep every night, I would be better.
sure,
I know that for a fact.
sure. All
Just
right.
like if, yeah,
Well, I have to nag you because that's my job. So,
I know, I know, I
all
know.
right. Long term, short term goals: improve and climb. Overall, learning how to critique my play better. Okay. You play. You said around 4 hours per day, 3 4 hours per day.
It varies. Um, so it depends, I guess, on a role. So I tend to go on a God, what is it? Momentum based play style. So if I'm doing well, winning, I tend to keep playing. Um, so I tend to go if I lose 3 times in a row, I try to take a break.
Okay.
Um, but if I'm winning, I just keep winning. And if I lose once and I go again and I win, then I keep playing.
Okay.
Um, and that's not necessarily like back to back. Like sometimes I do take breaks in between, but for the day, like if I lose like 3 and then I come back after a break and I lose another one, I'm probably done for the day.
Okay. Makes sense.
Depending on if we're getting stomped repeatedly,
Oh, depending on how you feel, really.
Right,
Because there's
yes.
been
Like if
games
I'm
where I've lost two in a row and I was like fixing to punch a hole in the drywall. You know what I'm saying? But then there was days where I would lose four in a row and I was fine.
yeah. And it's not even I don't even really get, I guess, necessarily upset like that. Um it's just I guess based on like how I feel. I'm like, oh well, if I lost 4 in a row, it's probably my fault and I'm probably not playing peak, so
Right.
just take a break.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. All right. Let's keep going here.
Okay.
So training time, I would keep an eye on the amount of breaks that you're taking. Try to be proactive with it, even if you're not necessarily losing games. Play several
Mhm.
games. Take a few minutes. Recent, because it's not just about the tilt too. It's also about reminding yourself of what you're practicing, which we'll have
Yep.
some things to practice when the session is done. So that would be the plan for improvement. The most important thing is just take breaks, have goals. Do you warm up at all?
Um, I do usually. I have the Vaxta code, and I do that. I do have Kovacs, and I've done some of the smoothness tracking.
Yeah,
I find that helps me.
sure.
I
That can
can't do
work.
the 6 points. I don't know. I can't do the minute long 6 points. I just
Yeah,
get
I got you.
distracted, and
I
I.
got you. What I would
um,
do, especially if you're a tracer OTP, I would just play deathmatch to be honest with you. I think
I do that too.
Okay, I would prioritize that even over Vaxta because of the
Okay.
hero that you're playing. If you do start to pick up Ashe and Soldier again, Vaxta is fine. But just the movement aspect of
Hmm.
Tracer is like, I think
Yeah.
Vaxta is a lot more important because Vaxta either has infinite blinks or has the wrong cooldown with blinks, which can lead to some bad habits. And
Yeah.
also because they're not shooting back at you, your blink management never is like good because you just blink
Yeah.
just because, like, oh, maybe they shot me there. Well, no, you need to like actually practice people shooting you, and Cassidy's throwing grenades, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So in Vaxta, for Cassidy specifically, I know there's no magnate in Vaxta, but I try to time like when like I can see the animation of
Sure.
Anna pulling out her sleep dart. That's when I blink, or
Perfect.
Cassidy throwing his thing, or
Perfect.
Hanzo drawing his bow.
Sure.
Not
Sure.
necessarily like, but generally I don't blink when I play Vaxta. I pick up Soldier just for tracking, and then
That's
I
fine. Yeah, that would
and
unironically
distancing.
be better. Yeah,
Yeah.
unironically be better. But we would be even better. It's just play deathmatch. To be
Yeah.
honest.
I do that too. I do
Okay.
deathmatch.
Okay. I would
Hmm.
prioritize that over anything else, unless you're just not feeling it or whatever. You want to do a little bit of Vax, so that's fine too. But I do think deathmatch is going to be the best, especially at your rank right now, because the
Hmm.
only time when deathmatch isn't good is sometimes I'll have like grandmaster students, and they're like,
Yep.
I get into deathmatches I'm playing versus like diamonds and plats. Like, what's the point? Then
Yep.
yeah, it gets kind of awkward for sure.
Yeah. Or people just like play Moira or Hog, and I'm just like, all right.
Well, but even that's good. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. I know.
that mimics what you're gonna be running into in a game. So like you just don't beat the Moira in a 1v1. Get really good at avoiding Roadhog. Like it's good practice. Like it's not about
Hmm.
winning that game.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I do deathmatch, and I usually do Vaxa as my initializing training, like my, hey, I just got on the game
Yeah.
type of tracking, and then usually a deathmatch, like the unranked deathmatch,
Yep.
one or two, and then I queue up for comp. And sometimes they're quick, but sometimes they last 2 or 3 minutes, and I go into deathmatch every time before a game anyway. So
Here's a suggestion. Once you're already warm up, you might not even need to do the deathmatch during queues. You might just need to get up and take a short break.
okay.
Even if it's just like a minute or two, might as well. A little bit of ounce of prevention. Might
Yeah,
as well.
I do that too. Yeah, I
Okay.
get up, I walk around,
Okay.
you know.
Okay.
So
Makes sense. Um, that's most of the questions I have for you. We talked about what do you feel is holding you back from improving. You say some mechanics, but I think understanding most of that's going to come into the in the gameplay. Any
and timing.
questions?
Timing I know is a big one.
Okay.
Even like I try to look at my teammates and feel like they're engaging. Like I see a Junker Queen shout in, so I try and engage and pull their attention. And that's just an example, by the way. But they use their cooldowns to engage or to do whatever they're doing, and so I try to pull attention, but
Mm-hmm.
then it fails. And so, or maybe I get picked or something like that. 3 people turn and look at me, but my team is nowhere in sight. So I guess just more of that. Um, I know timing is a really hard thing to master.
Yeah, it
So
really is. It really is. It really is. Okay. Do you have any other questions before we get into the gameplay stuff?
I don't think so.
Okay, let's take a look. So we'll start with the King's Row. Maybe we can do a little comparison of the two. Might be able to get through both. Let's take a look. So
I can't.
click on my face in the Discord, and it'll be able to click over.
Oh, I see.
When I stop and start streaming, it's Discord's kind of weird.
Okay.
Okay, let's take a look. Looking at their comp, good pressure on Hanzo and Widow would be really nice. I might consider, if you ever get the opportunity to, starting up in here.
I do sometimes.
Yeah, and then you can always just blink out if they know you're there and take this angle here, but just gives you more options.
Yeah, I think I was like literally just got like back from a break or something, so it was a little bit late, so
Yeah,
I just
gotcha.
pulled right
Okay.
here.
Yeah. This is fine other than that, though. Good. Good. A little bit of a goof up with the movement, but again, like, even though you can basically say that mechanically with your blinks here, I don't think you could have done a worse job. You still did a great job. See this? Pull 2. Diva's not by herself. No peel, no help. It's just the Life Weaver. You just pull 2 people, and then you get out alive. And even better, you're still on the flank. Right? This is really good. 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 I think this is maybe if we're talking about timing here. Be careful here. Because these guys aren't really playing the game, to be honest with you. You know? And knowing where your team is, which you can know because you see through walls here. You don't really need to do anything here. I would just sit and hide and wait for them. Either they're gonna 4v5 push and feed, and then you're gonna be able to kill them, or they're gonna wait for their life weaver, and then you're gonna kill them. It's up to you.
Okay.
But you kind of see you're like, oh shoot, I gotta go out again.
Yep.
Just wait. Just wait. It's good. Yep, nice. And the timing there is perfect because the D.Va's won. And she's distracted, and she's not going to peel because she's trying to take space because your team is pushing it. And yeah, this is fine. Alright, let's keep going.
And I was taking position by the health back just in case she could get to it.
Yes, exactly. And the angle is good. Oh boy, we are
going in.
Fine. Good patience here. And again, the timing is good, right? I think, like, you see this D.Va walking forward, Reaper walking forward, you take that immediate opportunity to push onto the backline. This should be good. I think this guy dies.
Yep.
Oh, there you go. Even without the stick, he dies, right? He's not paying attention. Now the D.Va peels around, but that allows your Reinhardt to walk forward, and then they die.
So, I guess I do, like, obviously, every tracer could work on their pulse bombs except, you know, top. But should I have just clipped him, or should I have just done the bomb, gotten out, and reset kind of thing? Because I feel like sometimes I waste my bombs, but, like, you know, I've always been told, you know, it charges so quickly, just use it.
Why would you clip this guy here instead of pulse him? You see his HP?
Because he's 1 HP.
If he's 1 HP, then yes, clip him. If he's not,
and
1
I don't
HP,
even know.
stick him.
I don't know if I could see his HP because I didn't shoot him.
Yeah, I don't know either, to be honest with you. I don't know what was visible to you in the moment and what wasn't. But if you didn't know, then this pulse is fine.
Yeah, I don't think I knew because I don't think I shot him.
Pulse is fine then. What I will do though is when you pulse a Cassidy, just a little detail, do shoot him a little bit because technically if he rolls, and gets a little bit of healing, he can live it. So just a little bit of damage there, just like 50-20 damage. 50,
same
20,
with Bastion.
50, 20, yeah. Okay. Other than that, the timing is good. The angles are good. I mean, obviously, this is a game that you guys won pretty handily. And then we'll compare this with the Nepal, but trying to be objective here.
I wouldn't say we handily won this.
Oh,
this was a tough game. Oh, yeah.
Good timing again here. Just keep shooting. Keep shooting. Nice. Keep shooting. Keep shooting. Good. Keep shooting. Yeah, this is good. Yeah, I mean, not a lot to say here. You had a good angle. I'm sure you're familiar with Awkward's Tracer fundamentals. You were saying that you watched.
Shoot always.
Right. Shoot always. I don't agree with that necessarily. But if you are in a good position, then yes, shoot always would be the way I would put it, right? And you were on a good angle. Go ahead.
One thing I'm working on is trigger discipline. I know. So that's one thing that I am working on.
Perfect.
Too, so.
Perfect.
If you see me like just randomly stop shooting, I'm like.
I saw it once. Yes, I saw
better.
it in the previous fight. Yeah, I was good. So let's talk about this, because what's a bit of an issue that you see here? Because your angle in theory is good, right? Well, look very carefully. What do you see?
My team.
Right,
My
your team is used to stuffing the choke here, but now they've actually rotated back and they're playing this corner here. So this angle is fine for you to hold, but it's not fine for you to shoot. You should just hide.
Okay.
Right? Or you should even hide here, because it's like taking an angle and then trying to still time the pressure at your team. For example, when you were back here, you didn't shoot them as soon as they came out the spawn door, right?
Yeah.
You waited. You just waited. You waited, and then you shot them, right? Same kind of thing here, where you're like, oh, I'm shooting the Reaper, and this would be fine if your Reinhardt was like holding this choke. He's not. You're choking. It's
Yeah,
like
he was there, and so I was trying to take Reaper off of him,
right,
but
right,
then yeah.
right. What's happening is like it's so hard because you've done such a good job up to this point, but you fumble
Mhm.
the bag once and you die.
Yep.
Just
And then
once.
yep.
Um,
And I should have just kept going up. I shouldn't have
yeah,
recalled
yeah,
here.
yeah. You had one more blink to get to the mini. I think you were fine.
And I shouldn't have gone that way. I could have gone around the
Yeah,
statue too.
yeah, yeah. Okay, let's keep going. This is whatever. You know, if you're gonna play for the touch, maybe.
Yeah, no pulse bomb there. Because my team's not there, there's not really any follow-up. That was a bad pulse
Yeah,
bomb, I
yeah.
think.
I guess I just look at this fight and I'm like, it's probably lost. Maybe touch the last possible second.
Mm-hmm.
If you like trying to wait for your Reinhardt to come back, like I would have given a full tick and a half first. I would have gone to like 2.5 ticks basically, and then gone for the last second push. But
Yeah.
yeah, okay. Not the end of the world. You get does that good spawn? Yeah, you get good spawn, so that's nice.
And is the crouching noise regular walking noise, or is it quieter?
It's quieter. Crouching is quieter.
Okay. Okay. Because I know like they removed it being silent, so.
Yeah, it's it's inconsistent. Let's put it this way: Overwatch 2 sound design is an active step in the backwards in terms of quality. So crouch whenever you can, but it's no guarantee. Now, you see the problem here, right? Your angle's
Yeah,
good.
but yeah, I want them to look at me. This is my idea because I see the Reinhardt there, and I know he's at least kind of aggressive. So
Do
poor
you
trigger
think your
discipline.
Reinhardt wants to walk through this choke to help push?
Mm, should he know?
Huh.
But will he? I think so because he did it with the bus.
Who's
He
better
did it at the bus.
equipped to be the tank, you or the Reinhardt?
Um, the Reinhardt.
Right. You kind of see what I'm saying?
But yeah, so I came in, and that's why I didn't blink until there, because I was like, well.
But the problem here is that your recall gets forced because everybody just looks at
Yeah.
you instantly because there's nothing else to shoot right now. And
Yeah,
then
so I think I should have waited like
you should have
3
waited.
seconds behind that corner.
You could
Yeah.
have done crouch thing here and just sat and watched through the wall and listened.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you're Reinhardt, you just wait, 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 wait. This now's your time to go, right? It's gonna feel weird doing that because you're gonna be like, should I do something? Like, should I? But they can't do anything either if they're standing in a choke. Literally, like I mean, the only thing that maybe could happen is their Hanzo gets lucky, right? But your Junkrat could also get lucky, or your Zenyatta could also get lucky. So just wait, and then now is the perfect time to pressure. You see what I'm saying?
And so yes, I do understand that. However, I mean, I guess I feel like I've lost too much by me waiting on my tank to do something. Because sometimes you have passive tanks, and I get that. I know some tanks are like really good at defense, and some are good at offense. At least in my rank, it's one or the other. It's never both.
Uh-huh.
So like I know I have a semi-aggressive Reinhardt, but I guess I don't like taking that chance. Oh, Hanzo might get. I'd rather just shoot the Hanzo and make him look at me, and I can go sit behind the statue, even though I did get hit. So like maybe I should have gone around and sat on the health pack and just shot from inside the room, just so they have an awareness of me there.
Yeah, I can see that. Like but again, you're being the tank there. Sometimes that's okay, but I don't feel like it's necessary right now. Because you're thinking, well, what if my tank is passive? Okay,
It's
you
not
guys,
even that. It's what if any of my squishies just get logged by Hanzo?
okay. Okay.
So
So then let's do this. If you're going to start the charge, if you're going to be the guy pulling the trigger here first, do it correctly.
Yeah, I think going farther to the left through that other door, I think was better.
Or even just more cover here, right?
Yeah.
More cover. If you want to start the charge where your team can actually push, then do it from cover. And like you said, do it so that you don't have to run away once your Reinhardt actually goes in. Because even here, it's too far away, and then now your Reinhardt pins in, but you're out. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So every time that this happens, you need to look at the fight and be like, okay, what adjustment should I have made so that this would have worked?
Yeah, and I was kicking myself for this one because I was like, I should have played it. Yeah, I knew I should have played it backwards. Like played more behind like the statue and stuff like that because I would have had 2 health packs to work with.
Yep.
3 counting the mega.
Better cover as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also just the simple nature of you would have made them turn their camera not here, but turn their camera all the way around here, right? Like so much more painful for them, right? But yeah, okay. Same thing here. As quickly and as sneakily as you can, set up right. You probably could go now if you crouched, walk up the stairs. This is fine too. Grab the mini. Fight starting now. Just a little bit too slow in the recall. And also agreed. Just the blink movement, right, as well. Just use it, blink out here, keep your distance in this guy. Because now is the fine time. The fight is happening, right? Let's say your Reinhardt just stands here and holds shield. They're shooting, they're distracted. Now's a good time to go, but we just didn't play it very well.
That was just a greed.
Yeah, it happens.
I was even like, oh, how greedy of me. After the second shot, I should have just recalled.
Yeah. That Zarya's dead. Okay. Maybe. Your Reinhardt gets another pen. Wait. Oh, wait, he does it again. Haha, this guy. 2 for 1. Okay. So I think main thing here is just obviously you weren't there. You know, you just weren't there. So by the time that you get there, it's a little bit late. Okay, let's see what happens. And this is more of what I would call the awkward playstyle.
Okay.
Where you just start shooting. You're just going in. You're going in. As long as you play cover smart, this is fine. More distraction, more distraction, more distraction. Shoot, 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 shoot. Pulse. Maybe. Play your life. Good. And that's fine, because you got both supports, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, 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 shoot. Whoops. Maybe. Yep, we're good. Very nice. Good. Yeah, this was a good fight from you, I think. You timed it well. The angle was good. Your resource management, playing around the health packs. You didn't greed when you didn't have your recall. You just grab a health pack, right? No big deal. Now, this is what we don't like. You're putting out constant pressure right now, but it's meaningless. Because what should you be doing at this point in time instead?
Setting up.
Setting up, right. Where would that be?
I could go back up top.
Yeah, same spot if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same spot. This gives you options. You could also hide in here, right? You have options. So it's going to cost you your recall right as the fight's about to start. And are you going to set up? Kind of, sort of. It's going to cost you your mega, and oh, no, you're not really going to set up. That's the problem right there. And I think that's where you need to find the nuance, where I'm going a little bit early, but I'm on a good angle, and my team can push, or I'm just shooting for the sake of shooting. I get my resources forced, I leave, and then now the fight is now starting, and I'm not, even if I don't die, I'm still not set up properly. And this fight's lost, right? Was there an opportunity to clutch this fight? Maybe, maybe not. Oh my gosh. Wait. There's no way. Oh my gosh. Play your life, play your life, play your life. Oh. I wouldn't worry about stalling card here. I just mostly focus on playing my own life there and getting out, because you might die here. Okay, you're good. Where should you go?
I would say top right.
Yeah.
Or
back,
right.
Right, yeah. Back top right, yeah, 100%. So you don't have to do this, right? Blink up, wrap around, take the angle here. There we go. Only costs you your recall. Shoot, 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 shoot. Good. Hate that stupid ultimate. Good. Good, good, good. Keep shooting, keep shooting. gonna dash. This is really good. This is perfect. This is perfect. This is really good. So here's what we've seen so far. Well, you tell me. What have you seen so far? What have you seen so far?
So pretty much what I see is when I go too early and my recall is forced and I have no influence on the fight, we lose.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Generally I get good value. I feel like my target priority is at least
Yep.
decent.
Yep.
I pulse a little bit. My pulse priority is a little bit weird.
Yeah.
I would say
It's been a lot of Moira.
Yeah, I mean it's hitting a Mercy, and especially on this map that has so much high ground where she can just stand and all that. Hitting a Genji, hitting a Moira.
Yeah. Hard.
Hitting a Zarya. All kind of sketch.
Sure. Sure. Just tracking the fade though.
Yep.
Yeah. I would agree with that. Let's keep watching. Any questions so far?
Not so far. So I guess we'll get to the end of this, and you can, I guess, judge my play style or see what you think I need to do.
Sure. Good angle. All right. So one little detail, more of a map detail. You can see how uncomfortable this is right here.
Yep.
So what I would do is, well, you probably can tell, right?
I usually do.
Okay.
I did. This was like right after I watched a Craggy video. He's like, just go right, straight in. I think I was one blink short though.
Yeah, you were one blink short. 1, 2, 3. Right. So that'll do it. Okay. And then what I would do is, if you can shoot here and shoot here and shoot here and shoot here. You could shoot Diva, or if you wanted to set up, rotate through stairs and then go for backline this way. This is kind of the worst of both worlds, where you blink forward for squishies when you should have either wrapped around to high ground or just done the awkward thing and just held angle and shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Yeah, see, I think I do get kind of mixed. Like, this is, I'm trying to think of my mental right here. I did feel like I had to carry this game. But I do know that, like, us losing a first point was my fault, and us losing the second point was also my fault.
Yeah.
See, I think I was just trying to like recalibrate my mental, I think. Like, you know, do a funny, as A10 says.
Sure.
Which is not necessarily good, but you know, sometimes it's like, oh, just get the stupid out and, you know, reset.
Sure.
But I think that's kind of what I was doing. I was like, maybe I can get a cheeky kill too, but it'd be a funny more than a this is a legit thing.
Sure, that's fine. Big thing, hold an angle, put pressure from the angle, right?
Yep. And I know sometimes I usually go up top, up there, especially if there's widows and stuff.
That's good.
And I hate fighting Kirikos.
Yeah, it's just too far of a distance, right? You have to chase too far.
Oh, I just hate fighting Kirikos no matter what.
Yeah, fair enough. Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah.
What was this?
That was a pretty good shot.
Wow, look at that. Okay, let's see. Good flank here. Didn't have time to go all the way through, but this works really nicely. Very good. Okay, let's keep going.
I do know one thing that I need to work on is peeling off diving tanks. One thing, especially when I see that they're getting value. And so this is what my thought process was here, which is why I went back for the Diva.
I'm okay with you going back, not to peel off the dive tank, but because this Batiste was too far away for you to reach without using a lot of blinks.
Okay.
If this Batiste was here, it's more important for you to make sure that he doesn't heal the dive tank.
Yeah. And so that's what I'm saying is, like, I guess my priority is generally, especially supports.
Sure.
At least forcing cooldowns. But if I'm not in a position to do that, instead of necessarily taking a position for the next fight, getting that dive tank off of my squishies.
Right.
Because I've seen Winston's gain way too much value because nobody can, I guess, walk in his bubble and shoot him in the face.
See this right here? Same kind of thing. Either you set up properly for the backline, or you just hold the angle and shoot the dive tank.
Okay.
It's just take whatever your position allows you to shoot, take it, I guess is the takeaway. And go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, if you look here and you're like, oh, BAP is too far away, I can't do it, then just shoot the dive tank. That's fine.
So I was gonna say, back to that other point, like, I guess it's me, like when I was shooting, like, you know, towards the statue, I'm like, do I have time? You know, do I have time to actually rotate around, or will my team just like, and when I'm, you know, not looking anymore and going up the stairs?
I see what you're saying. So then if you're not sure and you're getting good pressure, then just keep shooting.
Okay.
Yeah, just keep shooting. I mean, if really on this off angle, you could do good work on anything, right? Like, I don't think like it's a problem at all to just keep shooting from this. Now, if this was like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a good example. If there was like a Widowmaker sitting right here, yeah, you probably should take the downtime to go find her, because that's a pretty high value
go
target.
kill the Widow, yeah.
Right, right. But a lot of the time, if you have a good off angle, just shoot what's available, I think is the idea.
Okay.
That's where a little bit like the awkward mindset of just like, just shoot, just shoot, just shoot, just shoot. As long as your positioning is good, just shoot. As long as your timing is good, just shoot. Because like here, this fails because why? Is it bad to go for these targets? No. But what
my position was bad. I should have just gone up the stairs.
Right. Your angle was bad, and also to a lesser extent, your timing was bad as well, right? You basically were just 5v1 there, right? So there's no way. So, yeah, this is good.
And I think this game, I was also trying to play my recall timing better, like using it almost every time it was available. So,
in what regard?
So I feel like sometimes I just sit onto my recall for too long, and so like, I feel like if I can push, make them waste a cooldown, even though it's a 10-second cooldown, let's say a dynamite or a shotgun from Ash or, you know, Baptiste shift, if I can at least like try and like take some cooldowns with my recall, and if I can do it before the fight, which is, that's what I mean. Which,
that's awkward,
because I knew my tank wasn't back. Yeah, my tank wasn't back, so I was like, maybe I can try and push, but I guess just utilizing my cooldowns more on the timing, which not necessarily every time, just like if I can, if I have downtime, if I'm, you know, available, because I feel like it also improves my mechanics.
As long as you don't miss the recall 5 seconds later, because when you have recall, you can play more aggressively. So if you go aggressively early, if you don't get those cooldowns forced, right, then you're not going to be able to play as aggressive when the fight actually starts with that recall.
Yeah.
Because the recall is a get out of jail free card, so you play aggressively with it. However, if you time that aggression wrong, it could be messy. So I see what you're saying. Just be careful.
Yeah, I will.
It's fine. The only thing I think I'd say here is actually, I don't know that I would recall just yet. Blink first, shoot some shots, shoot some shots, shoot some shots. You know, wait your 2.5 seconds, then recall. Right? You got free healing here. You're gonna go back to 150 HP. Just use your blink and keep shooting, right?
Okay.
Get full value out of that heal. Because if you recall now, there's an extra second you could have shot to full heal back to 150 shot. Now, she might headshot you, but I don't think she's going to.
Yeah, so that's what I was worried about. I was just worried about getting... What does her non-scope shot do? Headshot?
80, 90? Let me find right now. Let's see, Ash Overwatch.
I try to keep in my mind what damage they can do, and if I feel like I'm in lethal,
80
I
headshot.
recall.
80 headshot unscoped. Yep. 80 headshot.
And I do know a lot of Ashes like to shotgun and scope headshots. So
yeah. But you got to blink, right? So I think that's kind of what you want to exploit there. Is that I have a blink, so therefore I don't have to recall the second I take any damage.
So what do you think? Blink to the wall, shoot her, recall.
Blink to the wall, shoot her, recall. Do that 30, 40, even 50 damage, right? I also just I didn't notice this about the pulse bomb with his skin. Did you see that? What is this?
Yeah, the sparkle.
Sparkles.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. That's hilarious. Survive. Okay. Oh dear. Oh my gosh. That's okay. He's dead. Good angle. Suzu and Lamp. Yeah, just again, it's just a little bit of movement, right? Like, just play your life, because this Diva's going to get murked, right? And so if you can just keep that backline distracted a little bit longer and not get one shot. I think a lot of your mechanics come down to your blink movement and, like, anticipating damage. I don't think your tracking is too bad. I think the mechanics that are, it's more of your movement than it is anything else.
And I kind of figured that too.
And you can even see it here. It's not terrible, but like you see like how slow that is, you know?
Yep.
That needs to be
I'm
faster.
trying to work on that 180 blink.
Yeah,
shoot.
yeah. That's me with my sensitivity when I try to play Tracer. I do like a full 360. Takes me like 7 years to move my camera. Flex support sensitivity.
And it's funny because I always overflick my pulse bombs when I try the 90s and the 180s.
Interesting. What is your EDPI? Do you know?
So I'm currently at 1600 DPI and 2.18 cents. Let me double check.
Yeah, it's a little low, but it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I did play CS:GO back in the day.
Makes sense. Okay, I mean, again, this is where, again, the patience is really important, right? Could this Ashe kill somebody? Yes, but if you're not likely to kill the Ashe by yourself, right? So let her play her game, wait for the walk forward, hit a big pulse bomb.
Let them cook, as they say, right?
Let them cook. That is correct. Yes. Like even this here, do you see how scary you're making it for them to walk forward because you're holding an angle, right? Whoopsies.
I got so lucky.
Yes, you did. I mean, it happens more often with Hog nowadays. It's a lot harder to one-shot, but I would be doing this. Probably where's your best angle to control here? Because you can see that where you're at right now is no longer super attractive now that you guys have capped.
Mm-hmm.
Where should you go?
This is what I have a hard time with. I mean, I doubt behind them, blinking over them is probably, I feel like, not ideal.
Too far, right? Maybe if you had like triple blink, maybe, but even then.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If I had triple blink, maybe, but yeah.
Feels awkward.
Maybe blink to the right and drop down behind to get the health back.
Yeah, come over here.
Or blink in front. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Somewhere over here, do you think?
At
least it provides cover, right? And it's in a different angle.
Yeah, so I was thinking back because I'm 96.
True.
And like, I think a Junkrat like direct hit will kill me.
Yep, it will.
So
I guess like, instead of dropping directly, blink through and off to the angle here.
Yeah, or blink back.
Or blink
like
back,
to my healers.
Right.
Yeah. So I just kind of picked middle ground, which is what gets you killed.
Right, exactly. Kind of dropping through and then blinking out. Okay, let's see. Also would have already used the pulse bomb by now. Even like using it here just to like make sure that they don't get out. Keep the stagger going. We don't need it though. Nice. Probably didn't need a recall there. You had a couple blinks, right? So like right here. Got a blink, use it, right?
Yeah, I should have blinked, but I was just like,
it's fine.
The bombs, you know.
Yeah, I got you.
But yeah, I should have just blinked. I should have blinked to the little dual doors right there.
Right back here. Yeah. Exactly. Also, pulse bomb, your brain goes off.
Yep, I know.
Where should you set up? Because you died, so you're not set up. That's the problem, right? So blink across to here, set up from this angle, set up your pulse bomb and off angle right here. Yeah, 100%. That way you don't have to, run right through the middle of the enemy team. This feels so scary. And that means you definitely have to recall. It also makes the pulse bomb harder to stick because they see you coming, right? even this right here feels like pretty tough. Like you got a coal, which is helpful. That's how you're able to get through, but it feels super scary. Okay, so far, timing of your setup pressure, right? Timing of your pressure, could do a better job setting up your angles a little bit more, and blink mechanics mostly. Now let's take a look at this Nepal. Or
yeah, and it's
Nepal?
like,
It wasn't Nepal. It was the Antarctic Peninsula, right?
maybe it was the Antarctic one. Yeah,
I can't remember. Let's look.
I thought mine was Nepal.
Yeah, it's Antarctic. It's Antarctic.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, there's snowy. Yeah.
Yeah, because I noticed like, and like I keep like mental tabs of it too. Because I mean, playing the game at this point is what's gonna get me climbing. And I've noticed when I set up, when I, am there, it usually goes well. And then I also notice sometimes, I get the DPS ego, and I try and 1v1 their DPS, and I notice it generally goes poorly, especially for my team. So then I'm like, okay, I need to start focusing their support. Like clearly, if I can just clip their DPS like a widow and just whatever. But if it's like a Cassidy or a Reaper that just chases me around endlessly, which I think it happens this game, I feel lost.
Sure. Okay, we'll take a look. I mean, I don't even think necessarily shooting DPS is bad, because you like look at their composition and like, well, what happens if the Ana and the Life Weaver are in a position that I can't get to, right? You're supposed to 1v1 people. Whether DPS or supports, it depends. The question is when you get that DPS ego, do you also do other things that you shouldn't be doing? Does it get you in the bad mindset, period? Not just, oh, I'm doing DPS, but like, I have to win the duel, or I stop paying attention to timing, or I stop setting up just because I'm so focused on winning a 1v1. Like right here, this is fine. You're controlling good angle. The Azari is looking over. The Life Weaver is also looking over. You have an advantage in this 1v1. There's your recall. You forced a bubble. This is all good, right? There's bubble, the Life Weaver full pocket, you don't have your recall. I really think this is fine. Then you deepen on here. This is good.
Okay, so if you could go back like right after I get the health pack, should I save my blinks? So like I blink to the health pack so I make sure I don't die. But
no,
here,
I think this is okay. You need to know that I have to play careful. Don't have recall, no blinks. But I can hear your brain. Fight's starting, I gotta go, right?
Yep.
And that's accurate. You do gotta go.
But I'm also like, to me, if I didn't blink that last time, I'd have 2 blinks. My recall would be off.
Do you think you're gonna need your blinks from this position immediately? Look at your positioning here. You see this wall?
Yeah, I could just go behind the wall.
You should be okay. They also don't know where you are, so you have that advantage as well. I think you're fine.
Okay.
I really think you're fine. Just keep shooting. This is like the awkward thing. Just shoot. Just keep shooting. Keep shooting. Keep shooting. Keep shooting. Keep shooting. Rotate around. So if anything here, when she's dead, what are your options? You got a few of them.
To the left, around to the middle.
Yeah.
I could go back behind my team, around to the right.
Yep. Right. Or you could just freaking stay here.
Yeah.
Just it's up to you. The problem here is you kind of go, oh, and then you rotate around right, but then you get shot a little bit, and then you go, oh, there's the echo over here, so I chase the echo. Oh, then oh shoot, I get stuck. I got a recall. Not the end of the world, but just a little bit messy. This is good. Shoot. Oh, he was one. You should have stayed on him. Oh my days. Oh, that's so tragic.
I was focusing. I was just like trying to hit him, so his healer regen
support
didn't come
passive.
back.
Yeah. But I guess by the time that you blink away here, it's already too late, right?
I think I felt like I was in danger. Was I not in danger when I blinked away?
Don't think so. Let me check again. You don't have your recall, that's for sure. So you got to be a little bit extra careful. No, I think you're okay. I think you checked the Ana, but yeah, it's unfortunate. That's okay. The Ana, at least you're distracting the supports. This is a very direct approach, and then you end up in front of the tank. So to an extent here, like think about it this way: you see the Ana, all right? But really, what's the best target that you're in a position to shoot right now? Ana. Do you need to blink on top of her?
No.
Not necessarily. It's weird thinking about it like that, but it might be better for you damage-wise and for survivability to not run in front of her face. Just like, look
Okay.
at that. Look how many shots you missed.
Yep.
It's hard to track at that point blank range. And then that's going to get your recall force, then you get pincered, then you've lost your angle. So a lot of what we're seeing, at least here, is, okay, that's good. Keep shooting, keep shooting, keep shooting, keep shooting, keep shooting, keep shooting, keep shooting. Good. A lot of what we're seeing here is just a little bit of setup, to be honest. Good, keep shooting, keep shooting, keep shooting, keep shooting. Unfortunate recall. Look at this again. Yeah, I just don't think the recall's earned here, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I should have just
107
blinked
HP.
through the door.
I think you're okay. Good. Oh no, we don't have recall. Maybe you're okay? Yeah, they're too distracted. You're good. Good. Keep shooting. Very risky, but it's fine. You're getting a good distraction here. Keep shooting, keep shooting, keep shooting.
Yeah, I was playing like I knew 3 of them looked at me, so I was like playing very careful.
I got you. Good. Keep shooting, keep shooting, keep shooting, keep shooting.
Run from the Reaper because I know he's chasing me.
Yeah. Too much downtime here. Too much downtime considering that you're at 114 HP. I know the Reaper's chasing. So then here, and then either listen, because he immediately turns back around, then go right back again. Yeah.
Okay.
It's tough, but like this is at least 3 or 4 seconds of downtime that's avoidable. That being said, I think you're doing a lot of good things. I wouldn't say that there's so far, again, downtime, right? There hasn't been a massive gap between what you're doing and what you did. The results are probably a little bit worse because, not to be that guy, they're on Zarya, you're on Orisa. It's one of the few tank counters that really does exist, so you lose this fight maybe just because of things that are outside of your control. That being said, we can still point to at least several instances of downtime, not setting up properly, mechanics that would have controlled or carried the fight more than what you did.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and like I know one of the biggest differences between ranks is like, you know, analyzing your situation. So I think me being able to analyze it a little bit quicker or understand what position I'm in.
And again, the blink stuff, right? We've already seen this was an issue in the previous game. You know, but you didn't really get punished for it as much as you have here. There's your instantly recall, and now you're out. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. If she uses sleep and nade on you, you need to be careful about getting shot twice, but you don't have to run away immediately.
Yeah.
She just used both of her cooldowns. And so she is also relatively vulnerable right now. So you use 2 blinks to just go back to right where you were again, but now you're too far away, right? So just keep that in mind. I would have kept shooting her. In fact, as an Ana player myself, I never shoot nade a tracer unless it's going to be enough to kill her. I shoot melee to force recall, and then I need to save my nade just in case they stay on me.
Okay.
It's just like a good
because I think with her nerf, she can't one shot a tracer.
Even before the nerf, she can't. Well, the nerf only affected her healing.
Okay.
Yeah, the damage is the exact same, but she can't. They can shoot nade melee, but that will only kill you if you're brain dead because you can recall before the melee goes out.
Yeah, I just spam E.
Yeah, it's impossible. There used to be way back in the day. There was like literally 2.5 years ago. There was a specific time if you woke up somebody during a sleep animation, you could one shot them because the animation was a little bit longer. But that's gone. It's been gone for a long time. It's impossible to one shot a tracer. Same thing here, right? I mean, it's like we got like what is that? Not Rumpelstiltskin, but like what's that old story? The guy that's always sleeping. Not Rumpelstiltskin. I don't know. Oh, a Rip Van Winkle. That was it. Boy, that's showing my age there. That's like one of the old school books. Okay, yeah, this is fine. Be careful with your HP, but I would grab the health pack. Okay, go right back. Good. Would rotate back left again. Yep.
And this was like right when that was a really bad pulse, but this was right when I think like Weaver just got his 10 shot perfect aim thing, so I was kind of like unsure of how to.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, I think he could basically kill me almost instantly if he hit his shots.
Yeah, that's where the movement's going to matter here. In fact, the major issue here isn't just the missed pulse bomb, but then you pulse at 120 HP and then get beat and then recall anyway.
Yep.
Definitely a habit I want you to be looking at here.
Okay.
Earn the recall. If you have blinks, avoid it. And then here you put yourself in the middle of a tank and at a copy and don't have recall instead of shooting life weaver GG. Okay.
Yep.
I would say that there hasn't been a significant gap between the quality of play of last round and this round. You're just getting punished more for the mistakes.
Okay.
Uptime, blink movement, recall management.
So, do you want me to be more aggressive with my recall, like wait longer, or just have?
If you have blinks and have HP, you don't need to recall.
Okay.
Recall is for circumstances where you need the HP or you don't have the blinks, right? Or where you want to go back to, like you said, oh, I'm going to recall back to high ground. And you can look at these circumstances and say, go, that recall wasn't necessary, right? Mm-hmm. That recall was necessary. Don't, just because I hit a clip or I hit a pulse doesn't mean I press E. It might be better for your hero to try this side instead. Okay. Try this flank. There's a mini under here. There's a mega here. Mm-hmm. You got a nice angle on the supports. That's what I would recommend. I think Tracer can beat a Reaper in a 1v1, but it's a lot harder when he's looking directly at you at this range.
Yeah, and so what I've noticed, at least for me, and like, I mean, I do have some FPS, like I said. So I know high ground's best. But for some reason at this rank, nobody ever goes high ground except for like maybe
here,
one
right?
or two people. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to like get around and get to their supports. So like, I mean, you know, a soldier that's pocketed by Ana or an Echo that's pocketed by Ana is going to be really hard to kill. So I do need to take stock and sometimes go underneath. I do agree. But just know, like, if I ever go not on high ground, it's generally because I've had like bad circumstances because I don't know.
But you don't need to worry about if there's not enough people here or you're not getting help up here. You're just running around anyway to get to the back line, which is always going to be here regardless, right?
Yeah, and I've noticed a lot of people go through those doors, which is kind of why I took that angle too. Like some supports play in that doorway, so just
makes sense. But you're kind of too much in the thick of it, not able to get to the targets that you want to go for just yet. How did you die? Oh, Reaper chased. Okay, let's keep going. Same thing here. Utilize that right flank. It's going to be up there. It is. There it is. Ryan's shielding. If you take this here, go either through here, like I said, to the Ana, or wrap here and go from here. This is perfect right here. Perfect way to help your team get out of choke. But taking damage as you're trying to set up is brutal. Boy, they are... I mean, really, you have to think about this as like it's bad execution from you, but it's the right idea. You just need to keep running because I want you to look at what's happening while this is happening. Look at the enemy team.
Yeah, I definitely.
But they literally gave up the entire map just to chase you, and you very easily could have lived this.
Yeah, I shouldn't have fought the Baptiste. I should have played my life and just ran away.
Exactly. So that's a tilting moment, but also at the same time, like, how does this happen? Oh, Zarya gets pinned again. But yeah, like that's the main takeaway there. It's all about setup, right? It kind of even goes back to what we were talking about in King's Row. Or like, it still feels like even right now, you're not particularly well set up. Okay, now we are, but you don't have your recall, so you might get cleared off of that setup. Like, it really never feels like we've gotten to backline or gotten angle yet, right? Everything has kind of been blinking through the enemy team. They pursue, and we die. Even here, like, for example, when you get rezzed here, where do you reposition yourself with what you
should go up right there?
Right here.
But I blink into it.
Don't go through here, go through here. Very important. So when you go here, this gets to be a lot scarier, right? It's a small thing, but it's worth doing. This is crazy. Whoa. That's
Yeah.
wild. Would it have won again? Like, would it have won you this game? I don't know, but like, we're not really interested in that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You guys lose this? Oh, gotcha. Fine, just gets away with murder. Yeah, this is it. Okay, so let's wrap this up.
Okay.
Nice tidy package. Tracer. What are you saying? What needs to be practiced? What are some skills?
Like I said, like, you know, some micro skills. So blink management, movement, trigger discipline, I guess pulse discipline too.
Mm-hmm.
I say discipline like don't be stupid. Um, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
I think the blink movement and whether you needed to use recall were the biggest
Mhm.
micro issues. I think your aim
Okay.
was better than your movement.
Okay.
And I think your pulses, like, okay, I think your trigger discipline was better than your recall usage. It felt like it was
Okay.
more egregious, you know. So I would prioritize where do I need a recall right now? Am I
Okay.
moving appropriately? I think deathmatch could help a little bit with that one as well. And then beyond that, in terms of like the macro, the fundamentals, what needed to be worked on.
Okay.
What did you see for that beyond the micro?
So I guess overall, like I need to work on like setting up, but being aware of when I need to shoot versus when I need to keep setting up. Um, and alternative flank routes, like I really need to keep that in mind.
Yep, 100%. Those are the big two for me.
Let's see. I feel like I guess another micro is just distancing. That's a pretty good one.
So,
Because I tend to blink onto Annas, which is really bad. I need to stay that one blink away.
yeah. Also prevents you from getting naded too.
Yep.
You can nade yourself, but you can't hit both of you. I'll tell you that that's the craziest thing for me is like when I, as an Ana, can nade myself in the enemy tracer. That's a huge W. Huge W.
Yep.
Guaranteed recall right there every time. Okay.
Um,
Those are that's a lot right there. You know, you can kind of pick and choose how you want to work on those things one at a time, depending on the comp. Maybe one per game, one per day, one every couple of days. Don't overwhelm yourself with details, but definitely try to work at these one at a time, depending on which one you feel is easiest to fix or which one is going to be the most impactful for your play.
okay, so like I know that game was kind of a lost cause, but is there ever a time when I should help pressure their tank?
When your
Like I know
angle
dive
allows it.
tanks, you
When your angle allows it. Think back
okay.
all the way to King's Row, right? That diva. When you took that right flank, like that craggy angle you were talking about, right?
Mhm.
You had a perfect off angle to hide from their supports and just like dump clip after clip after clip after clip,
Okay,
right?
but I guess specifically like altering my playstyle to
Gotcha.
kill the tank is I guess what I mean.
Sure. Okay. What's a backline that is not very easy to assassinate?
Let's see. Brig Anna's
Sure.
pretty
Like,
scary.
okay.
Brig Kiriko is
Sure.
pretty
Sure.
horrifying.
Moira, Lucio's, stuff like
Moira.
that. Anything that's not very valuable to like pressure that can ignore you too much, then just
Okay.
focusing on taking an angle and playing like a just a DPS on an angle rather than assassin
Okay.
rather. Um,
Okay.
that would be a small adjustment.
Okay. Um, and is it like, would it be tank specific? Like, I mean, I know
Mm,
whittling down Ryan Shield is probably not the best use of my
yeah,
40
yeah. I
bullets,
would
but
say anything that you can outrange, like Sigma might be a little bit difficult because he can hit a volley and force a recall pretty quickly.
mhm.
Um, Diva, Winston, pretty good targets, right? Not don't have a lot if you're able to outrange them pretty easily and put out some good poke pressure. Zarya can be difficult because she lobs a right click, so it forces a blink, it gets annoying. It depends, but yeah, you could probably use your judgment.
Okay. Because I know I've had Rissas just like literally on that same map.
Oh yeah,
Which one was
Arissa's
it?
not a great one, yeah.
yeah, one just chased me around the point, and I was
Yeah,
just like,
yeah.
what are you doing?
Too
Why am
early
I
to
here?
too easy to force a recall with an Orisa. So like doesn't
Yeah.
mean don't shoot the Orisa, but just becomes less attractive than say a Winston.
Yeah, I know if she doesn't have shift or if she has E up and she's like pushing my team, generally I'll shoot her in the back
Yep.
if, the angle,
Yeah, allows
is
it. Yeah.
okay. But, when she has her shift up, it's
Yep.
just useless.
100%. Any other
Um,
questions?
hmm. I don't think so. I do feel like there's a couple more macro things that I need to work on. Um, but I'm struggling to like, I guess, word them.
Yeah.
And maybe they're just intertwined in what you
Sure.
said. So,
So if they come up though, you can just message me. It's like if
okay.
you have the epiphany in the shower, just message me. I'll get back to you.
Okay.
So there's no expiration date on that.